So if you don't follow my other socials, you may have missed that I am currently having the biggest Epic the Musical Brainrot ever. I'm so sorry to my friends for being annoyed about my ramblings, but now it's your turn, fellow viewer. That's right, get comfortable and have a seat. So, what is Epic the Musical? Quick TLDR, Epic the Musical is a collection of concept albums written and produced by Jorge rivera-herrans and is a retelling of the story of the Odyssey about the king of Ithaca, Odysseus, and his journey back home to his kingdom and family after the events of the Trojan War. There are 9 different albums, also known as sagas, of 40 total songs in the concept albums, and let me tell you, they are all bangers. I've been having them on repeat for over 2 months. I physically cannot listen to anything else. So to help pass the time as well as have a little bit of fun, I decided to draw 8 of the major characters that appeared throughout the musical. Something that I love a lot currently about the Epic the Musical fandom and community is that artists play a huge role in bringing the music to life through animatics, similarly to other musical communities. So to follow suit, I wanted to go ahead and draw my personal interpretations of the beloved characters from Epic the Musical. If you follow me on socials, you'll probably see that I already posted the designs, but that was back in April. Thinking more about the designs, there were some parts of each character that I may have changed from the original. So we'll be looking at these with fresh eyes. Spoiler warnings ahead, but let's go ahead and get started with our protagonist, the reigning king of Ithaca, neither man nor mythical, the darkest moment, the infamous Odysseus. Odysseus' design stems inspiration from a lot of the popular designs from other animatic artists, but also from Jay himself. For my design for Odie, I wanted to of course give him some fluffy hair as well as a bit of a beard and have his face covered with a little bit of scars. I decided to have Odysseus generally wear a blue poncho over a white chitin, also decorated with blue lining, kind of making blue his main signature color. For his gold accessories on his poncho and his belt, I decided to make them butterfly wings, mostly just to symbolize me as the artist's influence on his design. He also carries a sword, which is his weapon of choice. I love seeing Odysseus as a generally silly but witty guy who takes things seriously when he needs to lock in. His character arcs being told by song is truly remarkable, and his guitar motif is so fun and one of my favorites. And it's great to catch through instrumentals. My Odie design changes are very slight. I really didn't like the initial designs, obviously, because they were the first arts that I kind of drew, so I wanted to make sure that his outfit isn't initially torn, but more torn as his journey progresses. I also wanted to redraw his full body reference to capture both me getting used to drawing him as well as finalizing his design, like for real, for real. And with that, we have our finished design of Odysseus. Next up, we have a character who greets the world with open arms, Polites. Polites' design also follows the general fan and character design a lot of people are familiar with, his general appearance being based off of his voice actor Stephen Dookie and the infamous headband. I've seen some interpretations of his color being blue, but I decided to go with the popular version of red. This is also to complement Odie's color being blue. Polites also has bandages on his right arm, in which later, from the Ocean Saga After Remember Them, Odie is able to imitate this as a symbol of remembrance by tying the fallen Polites' headband around his right arm. There's something so cheery and feel good about Stephen's voice as Polites. I really love how the original concept of mercy as well as the open arms motif still continues to shine throughout the musical despite Polites' death, and it really does show how a character can haunt the narrative while also showcasing the themes of mercy and ruthlessness. What changed from the initial Polites design very slightly was just I gave him additional battle scars, since internally I was wondering why I only gave Odie scars but not the other 2 main members of the crew. And with that, we have a finished Polites design. Next on our roster, we have Eurylochus. Now, also following the general fandom designs, Eurylochus also takes inspiration off of his voice actor Armando Julian, taking his appearance and making him Odie's tall and sturdy right hand. A popular weapon choice that's given to him is a claymore / greatsword. I decided to make him wear straps around his body to hold up the greatsword. His chitin also matches Odie and Polites, in which it's white with a complementary color, and you can guess the main color would be green. Oh my gosh, Pop rose coded. I thought it would be really cool to have the 3 main crew members match. Eurylochus also has 2 golden cuffs on his wrists. I don't know if I would ever make an animatic for this, but I would imagine that after the events of Thunderbringer and when Odysseus washes up on Calypso's island, one of Eurylochus' cuffs would also wash ashore, in which the Wisdom Saga onwards, Odie would wear accessories of his closest fallen comrades on his wrists to carry with him. I feel like understandably a lot of people dislike Eurylochus, but I think even after all that's happened in the story, I can't help but feel sympathy for him and how things ended up. His actions were reckless, but they were human. Just like Polites, after the initial design, I ended up giving Yuri battle scars as well. With that, here is our finished design of Eurylochus. Next up, we have the Queen of Ithaca herself, Penelope. Now, originally, when I first had concept art for Penelope's design, I drawn her with her hair down, but I really wanted to change it to have her hair up to capture the elegance of being a queen. Similarly to how I decided to make colors for Polites and Eurylochus, I wanted to make Penelope's main color red in order to complement Odysseus' main color as blue. I wanted to decorate her in gold jewelry as well as her hair being decorated with golden leaves. Penelope is a beauty and is very graceful and strong, and I really wanted to capture that essence of her raw strength in her character. color. Later on, I decided to tweak Penelope a little bit by changing her eye color from brown to blue, and I'll elaborate that a little bit later, but here we have our finished Penelope. Next, of course, is Telemachus. Fun fact, Telemachus is actually Nini's favorite character. Now, Telemachus, I kind of wanted to have him be a little version of Odysseus with similar hairstyles, but have him be, of course, a lot more youthful and energetic. His main color, I decided I wanted to be purple, which is a mix between his parents' colors, red and blue. I wanted to decorate his character in gold as well, to represent his status as a prince. I think I generally already went into Telemachus' design knowing exactly how I wanted to draw him. Originally, like Penelope, his eyes were brown, but I wanted to make them blue after I heard the cut song Oceans in My Eyes, which is peak, by the way. But here is our legendary prince, Telemachus. Now we're gonna go ahead and go towards the deities. Now, a small detail that I love that I've seen with the epic fandom and some of the artists' depictions of the gods are how they have no pupils. I wanted to incorporate that with my designs as well. First off, we're gonna go ahead and work with Athena, badass in the arena. Athena's design I felt like was the hardest for me to do since I was looking up a lot of references to different Greek armor, as well as trying to find something that works to resemble her owl symbolism, like the wings on her armor and staff. Her hair is orange to resemble her voice actress Tegan, and I decided to make it long just to capture more of the flowy language of her character design. Now, you can see with the speed paint as well as the images online that I initially had chosen red colors for Athena, but now looking back at everybody, I realized we have a little bit too much red on our hands, so I wanted to switch it up to blue to match with Odysseus and to resemble their relationship as mentor and mentee. Athena, I wanted to make her have a strong and somewhat bold presence, and she definitely has that impact musically with her piano motifs. I really ended up liking the tweaks a little bit more of the blue. I do know it does kind of follow a popular pattern with her designs as well, but that should be our finished thoughts with the design of Athena. Next up is Hermes. Both of Hermes' songs go so hard for no reason. Troy really performed, and Hermes is actually Saki's favorite character. I admit I did have a lot of inspiration from Hoyoverse elements. I know, boo, you nerd. I know the original hat for Hermes is a helmet, but I really wanted to make him look more like a messenger, so I gave him those elements such as a little hat and a bag, and taking inspirations off of Hellovians from Honkai Star Rail. I also gave Hermes wings of his own that sprout behind his ears. I really wanted to make Hermes' design symmetrical since the wings are a huge part of his design. On his hat, on his head, his shoes, so I wanted to showcase this with a long, exaggerated scarf that does also kind of look like wings at the end. I decided to give Hermes light colors and the main color of yellow and gold to match the bright clouds. And with that, we have our finished Hermes. And last but not least for this roster, we have Poseidon. There were a lot of concepts that I wanted to include for Poseidon, but it was also really tricky for me too. Even now, I'm not entirely sure about his design, but I still generally kind of liked how it turned out, but there could be a little bit more tweaking. The main features that I wanted to have for Poseidon is having his colors resemble the deep ocean, hair a darker blue with black streaks. I wanted to give him those mermaid siren type of ears as well. The color of his lower half / robes differ depending on the color of water that Poseidon is in. He is decorated with gold jewelry and a pearl necklace with shark teeth. He also has tattoos resembling shark gills that glow whenever he activates his powers. Adding on to the shark theme, adjusting the original concept, I also decided to give him sharper teeth. Am I taking the line, guess the pack of wolves are swimming the shark now, too literal? Perhaps, but I like it, okay? And for the trident, I practically just used the trident drawn in the cover photo of the Vengeance Saga, and there we have our finished Poseidon. And with Poseidon, that marks the end of all 8 designs that I currently have for the characters from Epic the Musical. Epic the Musical is now one of my most favorite things that I've discovered this year, and I really did wish I was able to fully immerse in it sooner. I think I'm really honored that I was able to experience the entire musical for the first time in one go. It's such an immersive ride the entire time, and let me tell you, my experience is actually just listening to the entire musical in one go during long car rides and the magic of my imagination. So eventually, later watching all the animatics with Nini and Saki, it was very intriguing to see how differently artists have portrayed the events in their own way, and I think it's really cool. As someone who loves music, storytelling, and of course storytelling through music, the absolute genius and passion put behind the composition never fails to impress me. All of the themes, motifs, unique symbolism, and many other things that have played a part of this concept album being told solely through music alone and no complete official visuals is such a skill that is insane to me in the best way. There is a huge chance that I will make my own animatic, but that's a lot of time and effort. It might not be until like months later, but I will, guys, I swear. This is coming from the person who took 2 years to update her webtoon. But with that, thank you all for listening to me ramble about Epic. This will not be the last time you see Epic from me. Perhaps. Until next time.